The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
Hello, I'm Rex Lita with Wednesday's news. In this edition, hundreds of students evacuate UOG safely. Manning says reckless driving caused unnecessary deaths, and Dimitrio emphasizes dedication to PNG. Prime Minister James Marape has ordered strict discipline across Papua New Guinea's tertiary institutions after student unrest disrupted clashes at the University of Goroka and Sonoma Adventist College. Marape apologized to the affected students and parents, saying universities must be places of learning and not disorder. He confirmed that over 100 million kina in upgrades for the University of Goroka, including security fencing, and directed a review of a nationwide alcohol ban for students. Marape urged students to focus on studies and communities to help maintain peace. Hundreds of students traveled into Lae yesterday evening from the University of Goroka in Eastern Highlands Province. This follows the violent clash over the weekend between UOG students and locals, resulting in over 50 injuries and extensive damages to properties and vehicles.
Around 5 vehicles and Lae police escorts left Lae in the early hours of Tuesday, November 11, 2025, and met up with an additional number of buses in Goroka, Eastern Highlands Province, after the University of Goroka Senate announced the suspension of classes on the evening of Monday, November 10th. This was the result of a violent clash over the weekend between UOG students and locals, resulting in over 50 injuries and extensive damages to properties and vehicles. By 10 p.m. on Tuesday, 26 25-seater buses from Morobe had reached Lae, while East Sepik students, who were estimated to be over 300, used 4 25-seater buses, 13 Toyota Hi-Ace 15-seaters, and 2 Hino trucks. The students were warmly welcomed into Lae by the Morobe Provincial Administration, Lae City Authority, and staff from the Lae and Bugendi secondary schools. Additional buses were made available free of charge to assist students from other provinces transiting through Lae on their way home. Among the group were 4 students from the Autonomous Region of Bougainville, 9 from Manus, 2 from West New Britain, and a few from the Southern region as well. Arrangements were also made in consultation with the principals of Bugendi Secondary School and Lae Secondary School to provide free accommodation and meals for transiting students from other provinces. Lae MP and Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso also thanked Lae City residents who have already reached out to offer support to the affected students. Kamela Guare, TV1 News, Lae.
Close to 300 University of Goroka students from East Sepik Province are waiting in Lae for arrangements to be made for their return home. The students reached Lae on Tuesday evening, where they were accommodated at the Lae Secondary School.
An incident at Ato Market in Goroka, Eastern Highlands Province, between a student and a group of intoxicated locals sparked a confrontation that started on Saturday, November 8, 2025, and continued to Sunday morning, ending at around 4 p.m. The University of Goroka's Yanguru Sausia Student Association President, Sebron Yembihahu, outlined that aside from injuries and damages to property, students were traumatized and had to leave campus because they feared for their safety. While waiting for word from the provincial administration, the ECPIC students, numbering close to 300, followed their Morobian counterparts to Ley.
We arrived in Morobe last night around the first group arrived at 7 o'clock and the second group arrived around 10 o'clock. And we later here at Ley Secondary School in Morobe province. So that's our location. We spend the night here and almost today, half of the day, we're also here in Ley Secondary School. Ley Secondary School, they relocated us, and now we'll be traveling to Bugandi Secondary. We stay there, and from today till Sunday between this time, we should be heading back to our province, ECP.
What was the arrangement? The second-year Bachelor of Science student drew attention to the fact that they were into their second week of examinations when the incident escalated. The university confirmed that approximately 75% of examinations have already been completed, with the remaining 25% to be conducted online in 2 weeks' time for years 1 to 3 students.
Put on hold, and the VC, Vice Chancellor, said we're going to do our exams online through Google Classroom, and the date for the examinations is 24th to 29th November. During that time, every student will get online and do their exams, remaining exams online. So that's the arrangement for examination. Here, most of us did not complete our exams. Some of us complete our exams during the first week, and some of us did half. Some we did not even start. And during the second week of the exam, the incident happened, so we will have to move, and our examination put on hold. And the VC, Vice Chancellor, said we're going to do our exams online through Google Classroom, and the date for the examinations is 24th to 29th November. During that time, every student will get online and do their exams, remaining exams online. So that's the arrangement for examination.
The ECPIC students are anticipating a meeting with an officer from the provincial government who is traveling to Ley today. Meantime, Governor Alan Bird said the ECPIC provincial government is grateful to Ley MP John Rosso, Morobe leaders and the people of Morobe for their assistance in moving their students to Ley. Governor Bird confirmed that a representative from his office will be in Ley to coordinate the repatriation of students home as soon as possible. Kamela Guare, TV1 News, Ley.
PNG Prime Minister James Marape returned from Brazil yesterday afternoon after attending the conference of the parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The agenda disclosed in COP30 is to ensure parties spell out their national climate plans to keep climate warming below 1.5 degrees.
Prime Minister James Marape's attendance at the COP30 in Brazil marked another commitment PNG has made to discuss the world's climate impact. It aims to provide a platform for governments, NGOs, and the private sector to collaborate and determine strategies for global climate policy and action. The world leaders meet to address climate impact and its challenges is currently underway in Brazil. The COP30 started on Monday, November 10th and ends on Friday, November 21st, 2025. Prime Minister Marape had the opportunity to meet the President of Brazil, Luiz Lula da Silva. Both leaders centered discussions around taking prominent roles in respect to forestry and the fight against climate challenge.
And all of you would have seen photos of myself and President Lula in circulation we held our historic bilateral meeting, the first bilateral meeting between Papua New Guinea and Brazil. We centered our conversation around forestry, taking a prominent role in respect to climate change fight. Papua New Guinea's contribution to this conversation is simple. We have the lowest rate of deforestation by any measure in the world, at a 0.07% rate of deforestation. It is the lowest by any measure, globally speaking.
The Prime Minister Marape said the Articles 5.2 and 6.2 under the Paris Agreement on climate change were applicable in the discussion on Monday and Tuesday this week during the initial days. He revealed that there is no financial mechanism in place globally to support the two articles under the Paris Agreement. Article 5.2 encourages countries to implement and support policy approaches for reducing emissions for deforestation and forest degradation. And 6.1 focuses on allowing countries to cooperate on their climate goals, specifically in implementing their nationally determined contributions.
In that space. And so the emphasis on Article 5.2 and 6.2 of the Paris Agreement was brought to main picture in all conversations at the main COP sessions, as well as the various plenary and leaders meetings that was held. PNG participated in 3 high-profile leaders meetings or plenary, and our conversation was again mounted loud and clear. I want to also indicate that as we speak today, one thing became obvious: there is no financial mechanism in place, globally speaking, for the support of Article 5.2 or Article 6.2.
Other powerful economic countries like Australia, China, and Norway have stepped in at COP30 to support the cause to fight against climate change. Michael Tamtipais, TVWAN News.
Police Commissioner David Manning has attributed the tragic incident at Konedobu Freeway this week that took the lives of 3 people to reckless driving. He said many people have died in tragic traffic accidents due to drivers operating irresponsibly without considering the lives of the people they transport and pedestrians.
Following the traffic incident on Monday, November 10th, that claimed the lives of 3 people, Police Commissioner Manning said the incident occurred due to reckless driving.
It was because I reviewed the footage that it was just reckless driving. Just be mindful that there are other people on the road. If you want to do that, go and do it somewhere else.
Manning said 2025 is nearing its end, with Christmas just around the corner. Therefore, road users must drive with care, ensuring that precautionary measures are taken at all times.
The more reckless you are on public roads, the greater danger you pose to yourselves and to innocent road users as well. So again, festive season coming up, everyone just needs to just take time, pause. Country just needs to pause and just reassess what the year has been, and it is our 50th independence year.
According to police reports, more than 10 people have died in less than a month in traffic accidents throughout the country. It all comes back to how each driver drives. National Capital District Metropolitan Superintendent Warwick Simatab said the traffic unit is carrying out an investigation into the incident. Simatab said traffic officers are trying their best to avoid incidents by conducting random police stop and search operations, setting up roadblocks, and doing motorist patrol to show police presence. However, he said road users avoid traffic rules when there is no police presence. Simatab warned that this must be stopped, as incidents can and will occur if drivers are not careful.
This is TV1 News. After the break, support mobilized to fight gender-based violence, and Women Councillor retains councillor seat in DK Ward Council in Kotobu.
For too long, banking has felt out of reach for many. But now, BSP's One-Took Wallet is here to change that. Send and receive money, pay bills, and top up. It's your money, wherever, whenever. Because at BSP, we are committed to improving how our customers connect to our One-Toks, to our family, to the ones we love. BSP's One-Took Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# for everyone.
From the rich soils of the highlands, the finest coffee has been grown by generations of Papua New Guineans. Expertly blended and roasted with over 80 years of experience, making the finest cup of Nescafe New Guinea blend. PNG's own coffee.
We've been traveling along this road together for over 50 years. Ella Motors acknowledges the visionaries and hard work that have been the driving strength to continued nation building. We live, prosper, sustainably grow with the community, whilst developing quality mobility chains, aspiring to be your first choice on every occasion. Ella Motors, celebrating with Papua New Guinea throughout our independence golden jubilee.
Tell him shorty come get it in. Come grind on me, but met it in. Mommy get loose, get loose, get loose. Pepsi in my hand, ice cold, no excuse. I tell him who's gonna bring the roof down. Pepsi with the fresh sound. Tell him who's gonna bring the roof down. Pepsi with the fresh sound. Pepsi, give me some Pepsi bottle. Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi bottle.
Show the dishes who's boss. Fight mess with Axion, the tough grease stripper. 100% effective at doing the dirty work. The triple active power breaks down tough grease, and its antibacterial formula leaves dishes squeaky clean. Get tough on grease. Get Axion.
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levies and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Again, and Teeny, a little bit ring rusty, over pitches. Coley advances ever so slightly down the track. Two people after him, and it's a wicket keeper that catch it. Dwayne, it'll be four. It's very short square. It's 55 metres. He's got another one. Has he? Has he? No, he hasn't. Makai and Teeny on the boundary.
Welcome back. Acknowledging that government has failed to provide leadership in the fight against gender-based violence, Chairman of the Permanent Parliamentary Committee on Gender and Equality and Women's Empowerment and NTD Governor Powes Parkop led an important meeting today where he gathered the board chairman of state-owned enterprises with the aim to involve the whole of the government in the fight against gender-based violence. He had a similar meeting with the heads of departments and the CEO of state entities last week.
The meeting was convened to mobilize support from all government institutions, including SOEs, to join the walk against GBV on November 30th, where they will also be required to make a pledge to incorporate the national strategy on GBV into their workplace policies.
The biggest gap is the government itself, whole of government. We have not taken ownership and not, incorporated the strategy into our workplace, into our life, as government. This is where I see is the biggest gap, like the elephant in the house. We are asking all our people to, stop gender-based violence, but we ourselves, from Parliament right down to all the state departments and SOEs and state agencies and provincial governments, we are not walking the talk.
Alarmed at the GBV statistics and the inaction by the government, PACOP says it is time to unite and fight GBV.
Between 1986 to 2025, the prevalence of gender-based violence increased by 210%. Right now, we have more than 2 million women and girls are being affected by gender-based violence. And the cases, you all can see the confronting statistics too. Just in 2022, the police record is this: 30,028 cases were reported.
Most SOEs were present and committed their organization's participation on the day.
We are thinking about it. It's been raised, we're thinking about it. And then let us know how we can also help.
I think we're happy to be on board, and it's a very issue that's a real issue. So PNG Ports, I think, will send a message across that we participate in that on the 30th.
We will be participating in the 30th.
Members of the UN system joined PACOP in the call for action to address GBV. The walk will be part of the 20-day activism campaign against violence. Ruth Rongola, TVWAN News.
The Kutubu local level government President John Pipikila has expressed gratitude to the people of Kutubu for ensuring a smooth conduct of the local level government elections. Kila made these remarks during the return of ward councillors' wreaths in Mendi yesterday.
A total of 17 ward councillors for the Kutubu local level government returned their wreaths to the Southern Islands Provincial Election Manager, Grace Wong, on Tuesday in Mendi. Among the wreaths was the unopposed president and ward councillor for Ward 18, Baguale, John Pipikila. Kila acknowledged the police and electoral staff for conducting smooth elections in the wards.
All no fight, all no fight. They'll not lose until next year. 5 years you blow walk by me, 10 men or 5 years. All second one more to something. Now 2 start. All no problem. Now 9 block come, 2 block I'm starting. So take it to the Sabot Lojibla. Now take it to the ARO and to you begin Liba, Roma Kutubu, Lojim yet. You yet come now. Conducting election blow people of Kutubu. Thank you. Assistant blow you, we got thank you. Conducting election for Kutubu energy, and over the 18 now full set, now no council. So 18 over the council.
Wong, when receiving the wreaths, congratulated the councillors and urged them to lead the people with honesty and transparency.
So now, congratulations to the team leader, John Killam comes up here, one of the more teams. You play full house, you play calm. You play 18 men straight, you play calm. I'm saying most of the people last time we signed him read all LNGs. Only the form will group all come, some come 3 pla, 4 pla, only to come on group all OP them. But now we looking at some people come and saying some unity. So you plan to deliver on the election, you plan to make LNG people. So we thought they give some people come inside now. You plan neutral councillors. You plan stop me to welcome the plan, and now by stop back settle. Team leader people now, you plan can say support.
Provincial Police Commander Chief Inspector Epenes Nili also shared the same sentiments and thanked the people of Kutubu for the smooth conduct of the elections.
Congratulating you leaders elect, and you getting good passing along people you maintaining this integrity you that, so that people of Kutubu by supporting you at the same time look out in big checkbook government and stuff like that.
Almost 95% of the LG election in the province is complete, with only a few wards to be completed by the end of this week. Ruth Rongola, TV1 News.
Meantime, Southern Highlands Provincial Election Advisor Brian Peep clarified that once all the writs are returned to the Minister for Provincial and Local Level Government Affairs, the election of LLG presidents will commence.
Schedule. Now, by Capital 1 district, now conducting election, local president as well as in local councillors. And so for Kutubu, we had a sharp provincial advisory committee meeting on Monday. It's not an advisory committee full, but a sharp committee. We met on Monday and we were deliberate. Committee agreed on
A lone woman has retained her council seat in the Kutubu local level government in Southern Highlands. DK Ward 4 Councillor Susan Mike from Nipa, who is married to a man from Kutubu, will be leading her people for a second term.
Susan Mike, a woman councillor, has reclaimed a seat in the Kutubu local level government representing the DK ward. Married to a Kutubu man and originally from Nipa, Mike, a mother of 5, expressed gratitude for the support of her community. She attributed a re-election to the positive impact she had made during her first term. Mike also acknowledged the contributions of the Kutubu president, John Pipikila, over the past 5 years. She expressed commitment to working with the president and the newly elected councillors to address the needs and aspirations of constituents.
Mr. Kadima, heartload people of place. But look at him now. Look at him now, meeting of people of place that look at him the problem has come. So 5 years, Blumi go good. So to give me look another 5 years, last 10 years Blumi. Now Mr. Blumi got plan was them by me Karamola. By me Karam service going set like a schools, na health, health side was the big road, one illegal was the project. Contract just like we got Hagan desire and wish look current work instead of what Blumi.
Meantime, John Pipikila welcomed the 9 new ward councillors of Kutubu LLG during the return of councillors reached on Tuesday in Mendi. Kila expressed commitment to working closely with the newly elected councillors. He emphasized the importance of teamwork and unity in addressing the needs of the community and enhancing local governance.
And more blue blood comes in here. So take it through, you will come, you get income, now we station, now you get to lie. Take it through location, Southern Highlands, plan it and you go to use a concept through heavy problems, come up, road flow or some problem like come up, you just come pass, take it through the summer plan. Okay, take it through this one, election manager, how to you was a big and you was a man. Me can tell you was a man. Big heavy problems you married as well, you say handle. Now, one blahap tasol liba. All with the habia, you finish in here. Now, to the world, the big sign now, some blah sign, some blah sign now here. Tomorrow, will sign. Big blahap, you work in the Southern Highlands. Southern Highlands, the Mibla, Kutubu, the 10 year of you. Because you pin in Bladiba Kutubu, Mibla. You have to extend that. Finish in the elections.
So far, about 500 wards have completed elections in the 21 local level governments, with only 1 LLG yet to complete the election process. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
And now a look at the finance news. The Kina closed unchanged at $0.2370 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our Kina was buying $0.2295 US, $0.34989 Australian dollars, $0.1901 euro, and 35.7 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee, copra, crude oil, and copper closed higher. Gold, cocoa, and palm oil closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, the ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. TV1 News continues after the break. Stay with us.
Banking doesn't have to be complicated. With PSP's OneTalk Wallet, control your money wherever, whenever. Dial *131#, enter your PIN, select cash in or out, and generate a secure code to withdraw cash. It's the only wallet for cardless ATM withdrawals. Send and receive funds, pay for goods and bills, or withdraw cash with ease. All with PSP's OneTalk Wallet. PSP's OneTalk Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# today.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaru, get up a big smile on face. Time for kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, na mumu, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, P&G and Mia. Buying P&G made.
Hi, with the help of Palmolive Naturals shampoo and conditioner, with these 3 quick and easy tips, I'm going to show you that more natural, beautiful hair is achievable. Step 1, massage your scalp during washing with shampoo. Step 2, apply conditioner to the tips of your hair. Step 3, gently towel dry your hair. There you have it. For natural, beautiful hair, use Palmolive Naturals shampoo and conditioner. Have a great hair day.
Long year 2024, 7 baby i-born 1 time HIV. HIV ikan go long baby long triple rot. Time bel mama ikat HIV, long time long karing baby, na time baby isusu. Tasol yumi can help him bel mama, long look out him baby inside long bell. Go quick time long bel mama clinic, na kisim antenatal check. Time yumi pan him sick HIV ariap, o time bel mama i positive penis, early treatment ikan save him baby. Give him baby healthy start long life. Stop him spread long sick HIV eagle long baby. This lutok sawe ikam long National AIDS Council Secretariat.
Enjoy life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Hot and talk, young or old, a scale family meal with home. We'll bring out the smiles, cause it's our favorite of mine. Tennessee cola, scale rice, don't scale price. Tennessee cola, scale rice, don't scale price. Amber, you like it?
Meet YumiPay, your digital wallet from TISA Bank. Your gateway to seamless transactions. Withdraw cash anytime at your nearest TISA agent. Send money to family and friends.
Hello, son.
Anytime, anywhere. Top up and pay with just a scan. From taxis to coffee and small businesses, YumiPay makes every payment simple. YumiPay, powered by TISA Bank.
Fabulous point. Sinner makes history in Turin. Oh, what a shot.
Thanks for staying with us. In regional news, Pacific Island nations are calling for urgent action at COP30, emphasizing that keeping global warming within 1.5 degrees Celsius is no longer a political aspiration but a scientific necessity. Climate finance and resilience at the Pacific Islands Forum outlined the region's key priorities: limiting warming, securing climate finance, protecting oceans, and ensuring Pacific voices are heard in future COP events. As COP30 negotiations continue, the Pacific Islands are advocating for a climate agenda that prioritizes survival, access to finance, and ocean stewardship, ensuring that some of the world's most vulnerable communities remain at the center of global decision-making. The president of Nauru has made an unannounced visit as controversy continues over Australia's move to resettle former detainees in the Pacific Island nation. Both the Coalition and the Greens are calling for more transparency and more information about what was discussed.
No flags and zero fanfare.
So you were able to say why you were visiting?
David Adiang slipping into Parliament's Senate entrance before leaving just half an hour later.
Mr Adiang, was there any discussion of deportations to your country?
The purpose, a meeting with Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke. The details, that's not clear, with Mr Burke saying only he had a productive meeting with Nauru's President Adiang today in Canberra and that the relationship between our countries is critical on a range of issues. Confirmation coming after the ABC made inquiries with the government.
This government does have a growing problem with secrecy.
The meeting taking place less than 2 weeks after the first NZYQ detainee was sent to Nauru under a multi-billion-dollar deal to take Australia's foreign-born criminals.
This is a $2.5 billion deal, we think, because it hasn't been disclosed.
We engage regularly with the Nauru government. That's a matter of public record.
Mr Adiang's quiet visit also coming in the wake of jaw-dropping allegations that bikie gangs have won a lucrative contract to provide security for former immigration detainees in Nauru.
The situation that's playing out before our eyes is extraordinary.
The government's quick to stress that this trip wasn't sparked by the recent headlines and was planned well in advance of the most recent controversy. It also denies that the visit was secretive, saying it wasn't an official bilateral visit and that President Adiang attended other public events in Canberra. But given the enormous political controversy over the bilateral relationship with Nauru and the very high-profile, very expensive deal over their NZYQ cohort, a level of political tumult over this unannounced trip is inevitable.
Remembrance Day ceremonies have been held across the state as hundreds gathered in Anzac Square. The ceremony coincided with Princess Anne's royal tour of Brisbane, where Her Highness took part in official events to mark the end of her third visit down under.
A sombre ceremony as hundreds observed a minute's silence in Brisbane.
While it's not a celebration, it is a really good opportunity to commemorate and be sincere about the sacrifice our veterans have made.
This is one of two very important days in the year that I get to remember him and honour him, so I am very proud to wear his medals.
I always say that Anzac Day is important for the nation, but Remembrance Day is important for the world.
At the barracks, Princess Anne continued her royal visit, touching down in the Sunshine State and also touching down on the field. From laying a ceremonial wreath to touring the regiment.
We've been preparing for probably the last week. We've been going around and tidying up the compound, making sure everything looks nice and sharp for her.
I have a 7-year-old daughter. I told her that I would be meeting a princess. She didn't really seem to believe me.
The Royal Australian Corps of Signals put on a show for the princess to celebrate its 100th anniversary.
To all of you for the welcome I've received since coming here to, I hope, help celebrate this centenary.
Ending Her Highness's 4-day tour with a bang.
Australia has struck a historic bilateral security treaty with Indonesia in a move Anthony Albanese has described as a watershed moment for the relationship. The treaty, which builds on the Defence Cooperation Agreement signed last year, will commit Australia and Indonesia to consult at a leader and ministerial level regularly on matters of security and identity and undertake mutually beneficial security activities. It also sees both countries consult with each other over possible joint actions. Albanese says the treaty would help to maintain the status quo in the Indo-Pacific. Hundreds of Queensland drivers have been caught behind the wheel with cocaine in their system. More than 1,400 positive tests have been recorded since Queensland Police began testing for the illicit drug in roadside stops 2 years ago.
New data shows that driving under the influence of drugs has become more dangerous on Queensland roads than drink driving. In the last 12 months alone, 49 people have lost their lives in incidents involving a driver under the influence of drugs. That's compared to 42 drink driving fatalities on Queensland roads. In the last 2 years, Queensland Police have expanded their roadside testing repertoire to include tests for cocaine. In that time, more than 1,200 people have tested positive for having the drug in their system while behind the wheel. The most common drug found in drivers' system is THC, the active ingredient in cannabis. Behind that is methamphetamine, with about 12,000 Queenslanders testing positive for that in their system while driving. Queensland Police say as a result they're attempting to increase the amount of roadside tests they conduct. In the last year alone, 70,000 tests have been undertaken. Road safety advocates say driving with drugs or alcohol in a person's system is incredibly dangerous. Driving with a cocktail of both of them is a recipe for a crash. As a result, police are expanding their testing efforts in an effort to combat what seems to be a rise in drink and drug driving right across the state.
The local Afghan community in Melbourne's southeast is in mourning after the drowning deaths of a mother and her child in Dandenong Creek. Fariba and Fazad Hossainzada have been remembered by their loved ones as their deaths prompt calls for better water safety awareness in migrant communities.
The scene of yesterday's tragedy was quiet today as local residents tried to come to grips with the deaths of a mother and her child.
Devastating. Yeah, I just want to sit and cry and cry.
33-year-old Fariba Hossainzada died trying to save her 6-year-old son Fazad Hossainzada after he fell into the Dandenong Creek yesterday. The pair were swept away in the fast-moving waters and were unable to be revived.
That was quite traumatising, thinking that there's two people have passed away through no fault of their own.
Her devastated family today telling the ABC Miss Hossainzada was a caring and loving mother who had arrived in Australia from Afghanistan 10 years ago and now leaves behind 2 younger children. She sacrificed herself for her son, they said. In the community, their deaths have been deeply felt. Last night, Dandenong Council held a minute's silence, while Doveton College, where the 6-year-old went to school, said it was deeply saddened. There was also shock among members of the tight-knit Hazara community, which the family is a part of.
I never imagined that this could happen in a small creek in Dandenong.
Dandenong Creek looks relatively calm now, but there's been a history of deaths here. Locals say people often underestimate just how dangerous and fast-flowing the creek can become after heavy rain. In 2008, a 12-year-old boy from Tanzania drowned while swimming in Dandenong Creek. And in 2014, a 3-year-old toddler whose family had recently arrived also from Afghanistan died after being swept away in the same area.
This water safety in drowning is, I think, prevalent in our community and no one talks about it.
In Kyalla in central Victoria, the family of Gershabad Singh were mourning their 8-year-old who drowned in the pool of a display home on Sunday evening.
It is an example now how quick the kids can go in. My son was an autistic child. He just jumped and drawn into the water.
Gershabad Singh's funeral will be held on Friday.
This is TVWAN News. Coming up in sports, Dimitrio commits to PNG as Rugby World Cup looms and Qatar's work on re-entry into Digicel ExxonMobil Cup.
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levies and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Okay. Yep.
Hi.
Yes.
Can I get a loan for my PNV contract?
You need to fill out these forms, these ones, and then you can get back to me. Okay?
Hello? Hello? Anyone? Hi, I'm Kenny. Can I get a loan here?
Not here. Not right now.
Hi, I'm Kenny. Can I get a loan here?
Of course, Kenny. I'll take down your details. I'll help with the credit check.
Thank you.
And I'll help with your business plan.
1 car Kenny, 20 car Kenny, 1,000 car Kenny. FinCorp, fast forward your finance from zero to hero.
Mtambo tru lonkarim o salim na simokin. Marijuana or all drugs no good ikam lo overseas or some cocaine or crystal meth. Nupla law or likolim Controlled Substances Act 2021 by making sawe lo you lo baim court fine enough money mark enough lo 2 million kina or go life year calabus. This platok sawe ikam long National Narcotics Bureau. One time halivim bilom Australia Papua New Guinea Law na Justice Partnership.
Noelle, you're my best friend. What do you think I'm gonna let you set up for your big grand opening all by yourself?
Grand opening. I'm excited. I'm sorry, the shop is closed.
But your door is open.
Did you see a man leave my shop?
A man?
Yeah, white hair, white beard, kind of chubby. Everything that's happened to me over the past few days has been truly a gift. From this paintbrush to meeting you.
Try. They have men, you know. They have men. Super try. Oh, the offloading is magnificent. That's outrageous. Fabulous point. Sinner makes history in Turin. Oh, what a shot.
In sports, Jason Dimitriou, the newly appointed head coach of the London Broncos for 2026, has emphasized his dedication to the Papua New Guinea Kumuls ahead of the Rugby League World Cup 2026 set to take place in Australia and in PNG.
See, you mentioned it. Game.
In a recent media conference held during the Pacific Championships, PNG Kumuls coach Jason Dimitriou expressed his commitment to the national team.
Look, from day one of conversations with London, I was pretty clear that I've got a role here in PNG in coaching the Kumuls, and that there was no option for me not to do that. I'm committed to doing it. I love this job. It's an absolute privilege and an honour to come here every year and get to coach this group, not only this group, but represent rugby league and the nation. It's something I hold quite dearly, so I'm enjoying it. I love it, and it was always about getting the team ready for a World Cup. And
Dimitrio's focus on preparing the Comores for the World Cup reflects his ambition for the team to achieve greater success than in the past. He noted the importance of aiming high and believing in their potential.
Going after our best World Cup that we've had, we've got to think bigger, and we've got to think that we can achieve more than we've done in the past, and that's, we've had some great teams over the years for the Comores that have done some great things, and we're celebrating, this year in camp the 25 years since the 2000 team, the team that won its first game on foreign soil, and what achievement that was. I was actually in England at the time watching the Comores play, so, there's some really good things for us to go after, and I'm excited to be part of that.
With a clear vision and a connection to his role, Dimitrio has been overwhelmed by the unmatched passion and support PNG fans have for their national heroes. He's dedicated to ensuring that the Comores make a significant impact at the upcoming World Cup. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
The annual Melanesian Spearhead Group Prime Minister's Cup is underway in Port Moresby, with matches starting yesterday at the Sir John Guy Stadium. PNG's development team, called the PNG Reds, women lost to a tough Fijian outfit 2-1 in their first match, before the men's development team drew 1-1 with Vanuatu. These teams are expected to pick up their tempo in their next outing, having shown off some serious talents in the opening matches. Fiji women's team skipper Jotivini Tabua said PNG started the match strong with a 1-0 lead for most of the first half, but her side found courage in themselves to fight back and secured an important win.
I think I just want to thank the PNG development team. I think they really gave us a hard time. It wasn't easy for the final score 2-1 against the development team, and most of them they are youth players. Like we take one game at a time, and heads up the development team from Papua New Guinea for giving us a time.
She said a lot of Fiji players are new to PNG, coming in from their junior competition, and this will give them confidence heading into the next game. They are expecting another strong encounter against the Solomon Islands in their next match.
So I'm so blessed and happy that I'm leading the young girls. They make power come together and represent the country and play local and home soil, and we're just gonna go back, rest and concentrate and come back defend, because they are a good team, all of us know that, but we'll come back and play strong.
The PNG women's development team captain, Guinea Mari Wambi, who scored the only goal for the team, said they will learn from this experience, especially playing against the best Fijian team, and improve in their next match. In the men's division, PNG development team skipper Gordon Mark said they had a good game and had every chance to seal the win, but Vanuatu was up to the task, and the result of the game showed that. Mark said the Port Moresby-based players moved into the camp a bit early, but he and other players flying in from other centres joined the rest of the team just 3 days ahead of the tournament, which impacted their performance at some stages, but they are happy with the result and are looking forward to their next game against Fiji. The 2025 edition of the Melanesian Spearhead Group Cup comprises teams from Fiji, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands and PNG. The host PNG fielded 4 teams, senior men and women, and development teams, men and women. And New Caledonia unfortunately withdrew from participation this year. While the Kimbe Cutters will not be participating in the 2026 Digicel ExxonMobil Cup, the Papua New Guinea Rugby National League competition and the Kimbe Cutters franchise board and management have agreed to collaborate and assist the franchise to comply with re-entry into the national competition. This follows a meeting held recently between PNG NRLC and the Cutters management.
This week, the Kimber Cutters chairman Stephen Rafale and the management team met with PNG NRLC chairman Adrian Chow, PNG RFL CEO Stanley Hondina, and PNG RFL general manager for performance and pathway Tony Archer to agree on a way forward for the Kimber Cutters' re-entry into national rugby league competition. Rafale was grateful for the opportunity to meet and discuss the franchise's rugby league future. He stated that Kimber Cutters board sought clarification on the specific compliance criteria required for franchise licensing and acknowledged that there are areas, particularly in management, that need to be strengthened to meet those standards. Chow acknowledged the growth of the franchise since its entry in 2019 and need to improve pathways for the franchise within the province. Chow stated the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup competition is evolving and improving the standard of rugby league, not only in the field performance, but also in management and administration of a franchise. PNG NRLC looks forward to working with the Kimber Cutters franchise and encourages the people and local businesses of West New Britain to continue to support the club. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Lakwaharu Cricket Club under-17 team won its first match by 6 wickets since joining the Port Moresby Cricket Association this year. The victory gives the team confidence that they can compete against some seasoned teams and hopefully make the finals. Excitement was seen in the eyes of every player who took the pitch on Sunday. The post-match celebrations summed up the club's historic achievement. But for coach Gome Alohia, it was a significant win for her side and their participation in the Port Moresby Cricket Association.
This is their first time to be here at Mini Park. We've lost 2 of our games and we have won our first match against Hoods. Bringing kids back from the village to experience such venue over here at Amini. It's been a great challenge, but yeah, we're managing to overcome.
She said there were a lot of challenges along the way, but it was pleasant to see the young boys playing the sport with passion. Past this victory and competition, some years down the line, she desires to see some of her players putting on a PNG Barramundis jumper and represent the country.
The interesting part or the interesting fact I find in the boys is their talent that's been shown. Like we have top bowlers, we have best performers. You know, they come from a background where some switching from other codes to cricket, and it's very interesting to see the talent in them. Yeah.
Vela David is the skipper of the team. His experience leading his peers out and about for the last month is challenging yet interesting. He goes about doing his job as any good captain would, and the teammates follow.
For me, I train them, make them, show them the way to play cricket or teach them, take care of them in the playing field. Play cricket, play boon, can play lawyer, go back and do house, like going around with friends. And
the Lakwaharu under-17 team captain is grateful they finally got their first win against their name. He believes they can make the finals and have a crack at the title at the end of the season. The Lakwaharu Cricket Club is one of the 7 teams travelling from Tubusareya, Central Province to participate in the Port Moresby Cricket Association. Port Moresby Sports Events Corporate Nines Rugby League kicks off season mid-November at the Murray Barracks field. So far, 13 teams have expressed interest in participating in the competition.
Sports Events Organizing Committee, led by Solomon Bravo, confirmed that teams to kick off the competition are reigning champions: AES, Digicel, MyBank, Bank of South Pacific, Kina Bank, FinCorp, Finwell Home, Bank of PNG, TISA, Spider Tech, National Capital District Commission, Goodman Fielder International, and the Department of Finance. A meeting was held last Monday to finalize the teams and draws. Ravu said the invitation is still open to interested teams to participate in this year's corporate event, adding they plan to accept 16 or 18 teams. Due to the unavailability of venues by the management of respective facilities, Ravu has extended his committee's gratitude to the PNG Defence Force Mary Barracks commanding officer for accepting their request to use the facilities. Meanwhile, the annual Southern Region 9s has been rescheduled to mid-February instead of December to restructure the tournament and use the occasion as a pre-season trials for teams entering the competitions in 2026. They are also encouraging village and suburban-based teams to enter teams in the tournament. Ravu said this is the right timing and teams, especially from the Gulf, should come and expose and market their players for digital Exxon Mobil Cup franchises, especially Gulfiso, Central Labaris, and the Port Moresby Vipers to recruit. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
And that wraps up the sports segment. Now the weather forecast. Southern Port Moresby. Cloudy periods with isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Papaneta, cloudy periods with occasional rain showers and isolated thunderstorms. Mamase, Lay, cloudy periods with occasional rain showers and isolated thunderstorms. Wewak and Vanimo, partly cloudy periods with isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. New Guinea Islands, Lorengau and Buka, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with rain and possible thunderstorms, and Highlands region, Goroka, Bands and Kundiawa, cloudy periods with isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Ocean forecast for PNG areas for the next 24 hours. Coral Sea, seas moderate to rough, southeasterly winds of 10 to 20 knots, increasing to 25 knots at times. Solomon Sea, sea smooth with southeast to northeast winds of 5 to 10 knots. Bismarck Sea, seas moderate to rough to very rough over the western sector with northwest to southwesterly winds of 10 to 20 knots, reaching 30 to 40 knots over the western sector. Pacific Ocean, sea smooth with southwest to northwesterly winds of 5 to 10 knots. And coastal waters forecast. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru to Kiwai Island, to Kerema to Yule Island, to Hood Point to Samarai Island. Seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters, rising to 3 meters along warning areas. Waters of Madang to Wewak to Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border. Seas 1 to 2 meters, rising to 4 meters along gale warning areas. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas 2 to 4 meters, and waters of Bougainville, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. That's been another edition of TV1 News. Thanks for your company. Good night.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by